Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the new year. Any additions or changes to the agenda? I think we do have
Two. One is the approval of the new police vehicle, and then the second would be just a quick touch on Safe Streets for All that we were awarded.
So we'll put those under
New business. Yep.
Any other additions or changes?
I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda items. Clerk, would you like to go over?
The minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 16th, 2025. The AP fees for the month from 12/1 to 12/31 was $1,231,717.11, with the exception of an adjustment of $137,322.60, totaling $1,048,463. Payroll for the month 12/3, 12/17, 12/31, total $45,931.51. That's bankrupt and a statement.
Any questions regarding the consent agenda?
I'll just say that obviously that was a lot of our CCMG money and paving. I don't think we've ever had a APV that high probably in the history of town. So just to clarify that.
Yeah.
We did a lot over the last year.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Town attorney items, I don't believe we have anything.
No.
Financial advisor, anything from?
Good.
Department report. Police.
2 weeks ago, we picked up a wanted felon out of Elkhart. No real issues. Also, to move on, I know it's coming up in the. I don't know if we want to talk about the police vehicle now or down when we get down to it, but doing some research on that and getting that ready for you folks, and when we get down to it, the one that we wanted to order, we thought we had till the 21st to order. As it turns out, Ford closed it early. We decided to go with an Explorer. I was able to locate two of the types of vehicles two types that we wanted to purchase. The engine that we wanted, one was new, and it was down in Indianapolis for $50,000, and then we found a used one for $42,500. It's got 17,000 miles on it for us to use. It's been for a year down in Alabama.
Thanks for doing the research on that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Yeah. Streets, right?
I really don't got a whole bunch. We finished our leaves yesterday, spreading them out in the field. That finally got that done yesterday, the weather.
Yeah.
So that's done for the season. And just getting ready for whatever comes in the next couple days, which nobody knows. Just to let you guys know too, I have talked to Tina and Keegan, and as soon as I get some time on my hands, I'm going to start helping them with doing some code things, and taking Keegan around and showing him some things that he probably doesn't know because nobody's really taking him around and showing him anything. We just haven't had time with the weather and all that for me.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Great.
We'll get that done. And
Wonderful.
like I said, with all of us working together, we've got some problems that just for some reason have never been resolved that need to get done. I think I could help do that.
Yeah.
Great.
And this is for Joe. I know we took all the signs down and you said we were gonna get some signs. You wanted everything on one sign. I don't know if she talked to you.
She talked to me about it this morning. So yeah, I'll get with you and Tina, and we'll basically create signs for the park instead of having 4 signs in a row
Yeah,
with everything, that we,
probably should have 4 signs total
yeah,
on each side of the park,
Ye-
describing
correct.
everything that we don't want, or our
Correct.
rules, regulations, whatever. But we also need to address, we're having a problem now with our new road, the old alleyway, trash trucks
Mm-hmm.
using that. And that's no. They're gonna
Oh,
ruin
okay.
that road. Because now they see it as just they can get from
Yeah.
Pierce to Rogers, and they're taking our new road down through there.
Yeah.
And,
Probably need to put a sign that says not a through street. I mean, because technically they can do what they can drive
well,
down.
that's what I'm saying about bringing up the signs.
Yeah.
No trucks or something to deter them for doing that, because that'll ruin that road that should last us forever.
Yeah. No truck signs on that would work. Or
Right. So that's the reason I'm bringing it up. And another reason was we've been having people parking in the park again overnight, which is
Mhm.
never allowed.
Yeah.
Tom's been addressing them as much as possible. We're kind of stuck without signage.
Yeah.
So
We'll get those updated.
but like I said, me and you had talked about
Yes.
when we yanked all them other ones down.
Yeah. Going from 4
Going
signs.
from odd looking
Yeah.
five signs on one pole to something for more professional looking.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, for Tina, I went and I stopped. We had to go get a new cutting edge for my plow today. So on the way back, I stopped and Zolman's, and they should have our truck done tomorrow.
Okay.
And the plow was no big deal. It was the springs that were broke to hold the pins in.
Mm.
That's what was broken. So that's why he said when we took it there, Buddy had been last time we had all that ice when we were de-icing and chunking, two of the big springs broke off.
Yeah.
So we had to have a transmission filter put on. I was like, we'll slap a couple springs on, while you're there. Well, they got into it, and we've had a problem with that.
Yeah.
That since it's been a couple years ago, got hit from the side, so it's kind of wobble jawed. So they've taken care of that. That should be done. The parts were supposed to be here sometime today. Should have to start back tomorrow.
Good.
So for first time, probably all season, we'll have
Both plow trucks.
both trucks with 2 salters working.
What years are both of those?
One's a 16, one's a 19.
Okay. Obviously, they're not. They don't have a lot of miles on them, but they do get abused when they're plowing.
They take a beating.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Peter was asking, how can it be like that with only 13,000 miles on it? Because
Most
the
of,
winter- the
I mean,
winter-
90% of that's plowing. So
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, people don't realize when it's cold how much of a beating stuff takes anyway. But when you're just bouncing that stuff all around in the cold for
yeah,
10, 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
it takes its wear and tear. So I try to keep up on that stuff before things happen.
Yep.
When they came and got the other truck, it was my truck that just got fixed. It was showing that it wasn't getting no DEF fluid, which is diesel exhaust fluid. It's a fluid that they put in there for emissions. So instead of towing it, he had a couple guys at the shop that weren't doing anything for an hour and a half. It would only do 5 miles an hour, so they sent him here and picked it up. They drove it back to Zoman at 5 miles an hour. So
well, it's fixed, so that's what matters.
so yeah, that's it on the job.
Thank you. Code.
No, other than what Greg mentioned, nothing new right now.
There's gonna be a lot coming up. Huh.
I know there is.
Anything for everyone?
No. Not right now.
All right. Any questions regarding department reports?
I'll make a motion. We accept the department reports.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I believe we have any unfinished business. New business. We wanted to start out with the county report. The office is here and has a presentation regarding voting and Introduce.
Regarding voting.
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, I want to say I love coming to these kinds of meetings because you guys are the boots on the ground. I mean, you are the ones driving the trucks and fixing the roads and all of that. So it's really interesting to hear, the things that you do, the boots on the ground for sure. So my name is Amy Rolfus. I am your county clerk, and the county clerk is in charge of two main things. The first thing is running everything in the court system. So if you get a traffic ticket, if you file a complaint about a lawsuit or anything, my name is stamped on the bottom. So the court, we are the record keepers of the court. So that's a whole big part of what the clerk does. But the cool and exciting part is really the elections. So I am the chief elections officer for the whole county for the elections. So I am in charge of everything that happens. So St. Joseph County elections, the first thing I wanted to say was that this presentation is something that I did in Washington, D.C. in June of last year. We had a post-election audit, which is we looked at the presidential election and audited that presidential. And you should be very happy to know that we got the highest possible score on the audit, a perfect score of the presidential audit. So then yes. So the voted ballots matched up to what the machine says. So there's no hanky-panky, there's no nothing in the St. Joseph County post-election audit. I was asked to present at a national election security conference because of the results of the audit and the way that we went about the audit. So this little presentation just talks about how we got to where we ended up at the end. So that's certainly downtown St. Joe County. Let me see, okay, my background is as a teacher and a nonprofit director. So I am not a regular politician. The Republican Party, I am a Republican. The Republican Party at the last minute in 2022 said, hey, would you be interested in running for clerk? And I said, sure, it'd be an adventure. And it has been an adventure for sure. But there had been no Republican elected to the office in the history of St. Joseph County. So from 1830 on, it's all been run by the Democrat Party. And so that's what's so different about my story, not being involved in politics, looking at things through a whole different perspective. This is Tim Wesco. You probably know Tim Wesco. He is the chair of the Indiana Elections Committee as well. And one time when we were at a meeting, that is a quote from him: "It does no good to create legislation for election integrity unless you have a clerk who is dedicated to implementing those laws." So down in the State House, they can say all kinds of things, but you guys know at your level here, unless you're following those laws, the law doesn't do any good. So that's one thing about my administration was 100%. We jumped into the election code and we only follow election code. So you probably know we're the 5th largest county in Indiana. Population about 272,000, around 200,000 registered voters. So what we do really matters here in St. Joe County, as you well know. Let's see, why is this not progressing here? Okay. At that election security conference in DC, most of the people were academicians, people who just research things. They look at numbers. They don't run elections. And so a lot of the focus was, oh, there's no election fraud. Oh, no, it's one-off. Well, I don't know how many of you remember, but this was in St. Joseph County. There was election fraud, and they were sentenced for petition fraud. So it is not a conspiracy theory in St. Joseph County. Election fraud actually is real. And just about 2 weeks ago, my administration also caught another petition fraud person who she pled guilty to turning in falsified signatures. So a lot of administrative clerks just accept petitions in and go, hey, you're all good. Well, my office said, hey, we're going to check these and make sure they're all good. And there were 530 signatures, and only 19 of those signatures were valid. She had forged all the other ones. So, I will give credit to Ken Cotter, our prosecutor. who actually prosecuted her, and she pled guilty about 2 weeks ago. So her sentencing is in February. But it is real. When people say, "Oh no, that's just a conspiracy theory," you can say, "Not in St. Joe County." So when I was running in 2022 during my campaign, we did find out that the Democrat Party had made 7 copies of the ballot room key. And the ballot room is where you keep absentee ballots that have been voted, and they come in and you secure them in the ballot room. You are supposed to have 1 lock for the Republican Party, 1 lock for the Democrat Party, and only 2 sets of keys. So no party can get into the ballot room without the other party being present. And we found, unfortunately, that there were multiple copies of the key, and that they had accessed the room without with the Democrats had accessed the room without a Republican present. And that was a real problem. That was a real problem. So here, then I went out and I went door to door and I said, "I promise you secure elections, accurate record keeping, and efficient and transparent processes," and that worked. But because when I got elected, I am a teacher and a nonprofit director, I didn't know about elections. So I found this course, which is nationally known now. It's called the Certification in Election Administration, Technology, and Security. They call it SEATS. It's a full year program. It's in the weeds, doing a deep dive into elections and all the security about it, the manufacturers, the software, everything. So I'm very proud to say that was my call to action. Okay, I'm clerk now. I'm in charge of elections. What does that mean? So that's the Secretary of State right there giving me my certificate. Catching cheaters. This is the news media that happened when we first found those petitions that had been forged signatures. So the news is interested. The media is interested in catching cheaters. So the first thing that I did was make sure that we had only the proper keys for the ballot room. We had a log of people who went in and out of that ballot room, and we installed security cameras, surveillance cameras over any time that there's a ballot that is being worked on or processed. We have that on video. We also transport our ballots from the satellite vote centers, and we do that in a good old fashioned husky container that I bought at Home Depot. So saving the taxpayers money, Tina, just like you. I'm like, I don't need a $500 thing. I'm going to go to Home Depot. The blue lock and key is for the Democrat side. The red is for the Republican side. So anytime a ballot is being moved around, there is a Democrat and a Republican to keep each other honest. So this is our voting equipment, which I'm sure you have seen before because I'm sure you're all avid voters. That voting equipment gets tested in a public test before every single election. And this particular time, 2 years ago, we had students from Holy Cross College who were interested in the elections process. And so they came and they provided the public test for us. So if you're ever interested in participating, absolutely, I want you there. These are our regular people who work the elections. They're bipartisan. We're always looking for election workers, and we have a primary coming up in May. And if you're interested in working the election, please, contact me because I'd love to have more election workers. Now, when I talk about an audit, most people think of that over there on the left, the banker's visor and adding it all up, and it's not too different than that. VSTOP is the outside independent agency that comes in. They are the voting system technical oversight program. So they are totally in the weeds. They know everything about everything having to do with election equipment. They came in and they were the ones who audited us. We went down to Gibson County because we had no idea what an audit was. You can read about it on paper, but to see it happen in front of us in Gibson County, we learned a lot. And so the first thing we did was put out a press release that said that we were going to have this audit. And of course, the media jumped right on it, which is a good thing. Then we had to sort 112,000 voted ballots in order to do this audit. they had already certified the election, so that it's perfectly fine that those ballots were touched. But it's a lot of work and it's there's mind-numbingly boring, but we got it all set and ready to go. This is what the audit looked like when it was happening in the county city building. We are fetching ballots that had been voted that were randomly selected. We take them up to a computer and they log them into a computer, and then they compare. What does the computer say to what the ballots say? So again, we scored 100%. Well, no, we scored 99.9% on the audit, which is the perfect score. Because if you get 100%, you're doing a hand recount. You are not doing an audit. So we got the perfect score on the audit. And this is the team. We had those over there. You can see the VSTOP team and then our team as well. And this is the news coverage that happened following the audit. I don't know if the volume is going to be good here.
The team of independent auditors did some sophisticated sampling of the 112,000 ballots cast in last month's general election. It's part of the vote system technical oversight program funded through Indiana's Secretary of State. The audit was voluntary, keep that in mind. It was not the result of any suspected or reported problems. We want to make that clear.
To gain increased confidence from the public that we have tested the machines before at a public meeting. We are testing them now afterwards to make sure that they were correct. So my goal is to increase public trust in our elections process here in St. Joseph County. Our highest priority for this administration is to be transparent, accountable, and professional when it comes to elections.
A report on the findings of today's audit should be released in about 2 weeks. Of course, we will keep you posted right here and on WADU.com. Hey, you're...
All right, and that is the end of my presentation. But what I did want to mention to you is that we did have an election board meeting today, and the election board decides voting centers and all of that. And we are planning for the May primary to have, I know I do it with my hands, but we will have early voting in the north, in the south, and in the east and in the west. So most likely for early voting, there will be a voting site here the weekend before Election Day. We wanted to give people around the county more access to early voting. And so this is one of the ways that we're going to do it. So again, you're going to get a vote center somewhere out here for the Saturday and Sunday before the election. And if any of you are interested in being an election worker, it would be awesome. So thank you. That's all I have for you.
Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. And I'll second the vote working. I've done several elections.
Yes.
So very neat experience. Not done.
Yeah, and for people that say, I don't trust elections, I say, come and work the election,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's
right.
exactly right.
Always looking for people on both sides of the aisle.
That's 100% true. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, did you have something else?
Sure. I'm Mark Rolfus. I'm with the St. Joseph County Republican Party. And on behalf of both parties, we're having the convention delegate, the state conventions in the summer. The Republican one is June 2021 in Fort Wayne. And we want to expand the information about how to become a delegate. Because if you want to be a delegate, you have to be on the ballot. And the ballot window, just like you're running for county clerk or running for one of your jobs, it's going on right now until February 6th. So you run in the ballot if you want to be a delegate. It's just like going to the Republican National Convention or the Democrat National Convention. You have speeches, you have parties and stuff, and then you vote on the candidates. Unlike most states, there's no primary for attorney general, lieutenant governor, treasurer, secretary of state, etc., except for governor. So you come to a caucus and we vote. So it's a great way to participate in your democracy in a different way. Instead of 1 of 2 million people running in the primary, you're 1 of 1,500 people that select the Republican and Democratic candidates that you vote on. So one thing differently we're doing in the Republican primary this year for it. In the past, it was 3 districts and some at-larges. And that meant that the big population areas, South Bend, Mishawaka, were dominating the votes. When we talk to people in Osceola, New Carlisle, North Liberty, they're like, hey, we get crowded out. We don't have as many people. So this year we have 12 districts all around the county. There's a district for Osceola and surrounding precincts. There's one for Walkerton, Carlisle. So if people are interested and say, well, I didn't do it because there's no way, now you can. You're guaranteed to have 5 spots from Osceola and the surrounding precincts if 5 people run. So we're encouraging people to run if you want to do it. Fun, great way to participate in democracy. And we're hoping that we're going to get the 5 people running from all those districts. So we can get different people involved, especially these areas in the outer areas that have always told us we felt ignored by them. We're not ignoring you. We care about you. We want you to come and have a voice in our party. I'm sure the Democrats are doing something differently. I'll let them come and present to you. But thank you very much. Any questions I can ask for you?
No.
So please talk to people in your community and say, hey, they're looking for people to be delegates.
Wonderful.
Nicholas,
Thank
have
you.
you ever done it? Been a delegate?
Yes, I did,
Yeah.
it was, several years ago.
Yeah.
Down state.
Well, thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Yep,
your
appreciate
time.
it. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks.
All right, moving on with new business, resolution 01/2026. Several resolutions actually, regards to, Americans for Disability Act, bringing us in compliance with, some of the regulations surrounding that. So, Madam Clerk, if you don't mind kind of going over 3 different resolutions?
They're pretty self-explanatory, but in order to be compliant for federal grant funding, we do have to have these in line and up to date. So, going to what's happening. So resolution 1/2026 is approving the Title VI non-discrimination plan. And that is a full 24-page plan. I sent it off, but I did not copy it all for today. So I will offer you 1/2026 for approval for that Title VI plan.
Is there a motion regarding 1?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 01/2026.
Approve. Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2/2026 is adopting the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, appointing myself as the ADA coordinator and in charge of procedures and upkeep of it.
I'll make a motion we accept resolution 02/2026.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last one regarding that is 3/2026. Adopting the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA accessibility guidelines for standards for accessible design and guidelines for pedestrian facilities in the public right of way. So that would be our sidewalks and anything else regarding that.
I'll make a motion that we accept resolution 03/2026.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for going over those. And another point to make
Thank you.
regarding these is, we have to have these established for certain grants and stuff that we're
Yeah.
for funding. So it's important that we have that up to date and correct. So
Yep.
we can get the best use of the funds for the town. All right, next we have the resolution 04/2026 for council reorganization for the year 2026. Resolution that we have passed each year, I believe, for council positions. So,
Do you want to change these or would you like to keep them the same as?
I would say I mean I'm fine keeping them the same way as they have been. I think it's worked out really well. I think we're going on 2 or 3 years now of it, and it's seemed to be pretty effective. So, I guess if there's no arguments against that, I'd make a motion to continue on that path and accept resolution 04/2026 as a continuation of last year's resolution.
yeah, I don't see. Okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
2 quick things. Or I guess one thing would be we did receive federal funding for Safe Streets for All. It is a $80,000 federal grant. The full focus of that will be pedestrian safety for in town. It's basically a grant to study that and to come up with a town master plan for sidewalk safety and pedestrian safety. So our hope is to finish that before this summer, that plan, because then we can reapply. There's one more year of federal funding available that's known at least at this point, but we can reapply for that federal funding for implementation in the summer with the idea of creating sidewalks in areas where kids are walking to school.
School crossing.
Yeah, school crossings, high traffic areas, basically to create just a little bit more connectivity between the park, the schools, and or the school and south end of town and north end of town. One of the things that will be looked at is putting in a pedestrian crossing, crossing over the tracks where they'll have flashers for just people walking. That's one of the things that'll be looked at as well. So that's we don't have the grant agreement yet, but that will be something that we'll be talking a lot about in the next 5 months, and trying to fast track it in order to be eligible and available for this summer's round of funding for Safe Streets for All.
Yeah, I think it's really neat that we were able to get the money for the study because, I mean, as anyone that's in the town knows, I mean, we've got very spotty sidewalks currently. And as we're trying to look to improve, especially with the park and of course, obviously the schools in town, making all of that more connected with some of the subdivisions and across the tracks as well, making it safer for people to travel on the sidewalks or on the roadways. I think is really important. So
Yeah, and this is also a kind of a new, I guess, adventure in for us into federal grants. That I don't know that we've actually done one in the history of time. I mean, I'm not aware of one. So I mean, it's
We
just pretty.
barely got state grant.
Yeah, I mean, we have.
Highly doubt they're federal.
I mean,
Well,
so
we have that HSIP,
is HSIP federal as well? Okay, so in the last 2 years, we've gotten about 160 grand in federal grants, which is, I mean, pretty awesome. And obviously, if we reapply for the federal grant this summer, it'll be closer to $1 million that we'd be asking for. So pretty exciting stuff. Really cool to see. I mean, great hard work from Tina and running after some of these dollars that we've never ran after before.
is there anything we need to do with that? I think it's just
No, until we have a grant agreement in place, I've had just discussions with Abin Marsh. Obviously, there are engineer on call for the town, basically making them aware of that we've received funding and what that might look like for moving forward. They were instrumental in helping us getting this grant. So, yeah, so we're very early stages, but it'll be a relatively quick process. So.
Did anything ever become the grant for that we were going after, like for the electronic speed signs and?
That's the HSIP. So that'll be implemented this year. So is not gone out for.
2026 money.
Yeah. So we received the award of that grant last year. Implementation is this year.
Gotcha.
Probably more towards the summer. We haven't heard dates yet for that,
I
but
thought we had gotten it.
but we
Yeah.
did get a word.
we did get that.
Oh, yeah.
And then kind of just as we're talking about other things happening in town, Lincoln Way is scheduled to be repaved this year by the state, as well as adding a stoplight at Apple and Lincoln Way. Timeline on that is very, very unknown. But we should probably start seeing them do drainage work earlier than later to resolve the lovely flooding
I've seen a few NDOT trucks here in the last couple weeks. I did stick my nose in there to ask anything, but they were down by Tony's,
Yeah.
Sniffing around doing something. But like I said, I didn't want to bother them or anything. So
Yeah. Fortunately, they are correctly fixing the problem of drainage on Lincoln Way. So that will not be should not be an issue.
They've bought, including a little piece of property from us.
Yeah.
They did that all down through Lincoln Way.
Correct.
To where they're going to put the new piping.
Correct.
For an actual, instead of drywall, we actually have a drain system.
Yep. So that'd be wonderful.
Thank you for the updates on that stuff, Joe. I think we can move it in now to the next police vehicle. As Chief Hickson mentioned earlier, we did get a few different quotes for vehicles. We've budgeted obviously for a new vehicle this year, and yeah, we're considering one of, I guess, basically three different
Three
options.
options.
And I don't. Do you have any strong feelings, Chief, on any of the options?
The two that are available, I would say at this point, you have the new one that's, like I said, at 50 and some change, and then the used one, which is at 42.5. Otherwise, we have to order, we'd have to wait for the Ford to open up the orders again for that engine. And that could be midsummer, which means we wouldn't see the truck until fall, which means once you have it outfitted, probably not till
Kind of like
next
the
year.
street department truck.
Yep.
So I would probably sway towards the used one as a way to cut some costs and help with the outfitting costs of the vehicle.
That was a police vehicle in Alabama, you said?
Yes.
Was there any equipment in the lights running?
So
Just,
it must have been a detectives or somebody that probably didn't run it real hard because they didn't add any lights into it.
okay.
And
Never had lights.
The way that they explained it to me was Alabama uses, I don't know what agency down there, if it's the state, they use their vehicles for a year and then they get rid of
It would be nice if we could afford to do that.
It's an agency with a lot of budget.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible, but
it. So, but I think 17,000 miles on it.
yeah.
And that the company that's selling that vehicle, do they kind of go over them at all?
They do. They only pick some of the better vehicles, and then they are known for selling police vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah. They've got about 100 police vehicles on their lot at a time, and they're pretty.
Do you get a warranty with that?
They do have a small warranty, but you still have the Ford warranty.
Still has manufacturing.
That's what I was
manufacturing.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Which is another advantage of kind of getting a newer one.
And
Yeah.
we've always had very good success with Ford when there's been issues with the vehicles. With the two Fords that we've got, Ford's been more than willing to assist with repairs or splitting costs and such. So I think it'd be a good purchase for the town.
And is it 2025?
So that'll currently, what year vehicles do we have?
We have a 2016 Ford Explorer, a 2018 Ford Explorer, a 21 Dodge Durango, and we have a 24 Dodge Durango.
And the 16 is, what condition is that in?
I mean, in okay condition for being 10 years old. The equipment is probably past its use, not movable. It still's got the old light bar on the outside. A lot of vehicles have gone to where we have the lights on the inside. Most vehicles anymore. There's just not really anything that's movable from that car. Cage. The only thing that is movable is the storage unit in the back, which we can move to the new vehicle or however what we want to do with that.
I do think there's benefits. I mean, I don't think there's much value in getting rid of that vehicle.
Yeah.
As you said, I think our trading credit was $2,500 with Jordan if we traded it in. You know, if that was a federal grant for officers, if that comes back around, I mean, I think that's a good opportunity where we'd probably want to have that extra vehicle around if we went to a third full-time officer with that program. So,
but I'll say this to minimize the wear and tear on vehicles and make sure, I mean, the fluids and everything's getting run. There's officers that are assigned to each vehicle. So we make sure all the vehicles are touching the road.
I guess I'll make a motion that we purchase the used Ford Explorer 2025 for $42,500.
They deliver that to you, Tom?
Yeah, they will.
Hey, road
Second.
trip.
Second is made. All those in favor?
Aye.
We always do a road trip.
I'm just gonna add a side mark that I will put the quote information in the,
It's
minutes.
it's in Chicago.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That ain't no fun. Huh?
Appreciate that. Anything else for new business? All right, we will now open it up for public comment. If you'd like to come to the podium, state your name and address. Address the council.
My name is Ernest Bird, at 10929 McKinley Highway. And just have a few questions. You have a tower out here, and I'm wondering, is it still being used by the police department? Thanks. So what I'd like to propose is to put up a small repeater station to be used by the public. Something called mesh plastic. And so I'm a ham radio operator. I'm not too concerned if some natural disaster happens. I have multiple ways of communicating with my family and friends. But a lot of people don't want to put the time and the effort, cost into getting an radio license just because something might happen. So mesh plastic is a very low powered, slow text only communication method. You can set up channels for your family, a channel for your friends, a channel for whatever, and you can text people. So the way the mesh works is once you send a text out, it goes to whatever it can find, the next node that it finds in the system, and that one will rebroadcast it. It doesn't read it, it can't decrypt it. Each of these channels are private. And so it will pass on and pass on until it's received by its intended recipient. So it's solar power, like I said, very low power. And I'm trying to find different places, and you just happen to drive by and saw the tower there, and I said, I'm not using that anymore. And so I was just want to put that in front of you and say, what's the possibility? What do I need to do? Or is it even not?
What other locations around here are there?
Right now, by nature, mesh plastic is a distributed system, so it's mainly private individuals in a home. I have one in my tower at home. I have one in my car. My brother has one on his rooftop. My brother has, and then there's several people, friends of ours. Right now, it's not very, very common in this area. Go to the big cities. It's everywhere. So it's no problem. They don't need much of an infrastructure to be able to communicate over a wide area because there's so many. Well, right now we're rather few. And so a few of them on a higher position just increases the number of people.
What's the range for something like that?
So it totally, like I said, we're talking low power, we're talking a tenth of a watt.
Yeah.
So it's a question that can't be answered.
I mean, obviously it depends on.
I've seen reports of people doing over 10 miles. Okay, that's line of sight, probably over water. Trees, buildings, everything impedes that. So typically you're going to get less than a mile. Probably on a tower like this, maybe 3. So that increases the number of people that can contact each other.
Like a ping system.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You have to have another tower here and another tower
Yeah.
ping off of.
Right, but in this case, it doesn't go tower to tower. It goes person to person.
Maybe it's at least we can look into it. I
Yeah,
think we need to study it a little bit more.
Sure,
And
I expect that.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah,
If you have any information that you'd like to send over about it,
I certainly can.
drop
Yeah.
off to Tina and
Yeah,
she can
sure.
forward it on to
Yeah.
us. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something fairly new. Been out for probably less than a year. Started out in England. England was just exploded with it. And one of the big things, so during a national, local, event where, tornado or whatever, it may not take out all the cell towers. You may still have cell coverage, but you probably can't talk because everybody's on. That's the problem. My mom lives down in Florida, and when her was through there, it's not that they took out the cell towers. It's just that everybody was on the phone. They had to check the weather, look at the, it just overloads the towers to the point they just missed them. This just gives them another opportunity to contact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Interesting.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Any other public comment?
I'll make a motion. We end public comment.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any announcements? Don't. We have any announcements? Just Happy New Year.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.